Hi YouTube, this is Dr. Mommy coming to you again. As you can see, I am sitting here in my cozy chair. Therefore, it's time for some cozy chair conversation. Today, I am going to round off the side hustle and extra income series, and I will be doing episode 3, which is the final episode. And in that episode, I will be discussing real estate or rental property, which is my third and final side hustle or extra way that I receive income. Now, as you know, I do have my notes here, my handy dandy tablet, so I will be looking down from time to time to make sure that I do not forget anything. Okay, now I categorize the side hustle of rental property or real estate as the largest extra income that you may receive. No, I'm sorry, not the largest income, but the largest overhead costs that you may incur. That's why I left it for last. Therefore, what I mean by overhead cost is this extra income or side hustle is the one that may extract the largest amount of money out of your pocket. Now, I am actually in the process of changing tenants, if you will. There's one tenant that is moving out, and there will be possibly another moving in within the next month. And I was just down there at the property, and I actually meant to do some footage while I was down there so you can actually see me in work at the property. So basically, let's go through some of the cost or the overhead cost of having a tenant in the property, and also when there is no tenant in the property and you are preparing for the next tenant. The first thing is, if there are tenants in the property, you want to go down and do a inspection of your property at least, I would say, about 3 or 4 times a year. I am actually not in the same state with my rental property, and some people see that as a downfall, but I haven't had any issues. I've had the rental property probably for the last 6 years or so. So I haven't had any issues with, getting down there to see the property whenever I need to. Also, a plus to having real estate is where extra income actually comes in is when the property is paid off. I know I may get some more arguments with that as well, that, some people use debt or take out loans to buy real estate properties. That is not the route I want to go. In the future, I want to continue to buy real estate, and I want to pay cash for my real estate. Therefore, this property is paid for, and I do not have that overhead expense of a mortgage. Now, some of the things I have to go down and look at when I'm doing my inspection are some of your bigger appliances, like your air condition and heating units. I have to go and do an inspection of those, which may be a cost to you. So I'm just going to name those things that may be a cost as a result of having this side hustle or this extra income coming in. So some of the things are your AC and your heating unit. You want to inspect those. Your refrigerator and your stove, you want to make sure that they're working properly. And at any given time, these items can start malfunctioning and or go out completely. Therefore, you have to have funds set aside so that you can repair these items, or at a worst case scenario, you may have to purchase the item again. Plumbing is another thing. You want to go down and check your plumbing and your pipes. We actually just had a plumbing issue where there was an actual tree root that was growing into the pipes. So we had to have a guy come out and remove the tree root, replace some of the piping, and that was a cost that was incurred as well. Another item is your hot water heater. So you want to make sure that it's functioning correctly, and basically the only way you can do that is making sure that the pilot stays lit on it, and by testing your water to make sure that your water remains hot. Now, those are a few things or overhead costs that you incur if there's a tenant in the property or a tenant that is not in the property. This next set that I am going to review are things or repairs that you may have to do when a tenant is exiting the property and you are about to get a new tenant. One of the things is painting. Of course, you're going to have to go through and you're going to have to inspect every room to see if there's either touch-up painting needed or painting altogether. For this move, because the tenant had been in the property for several years, I am choosing to do a full repaint of the entire property. So that's going to be a cost that I'm going to incur, where I am going to have to buy paint and paint supplies so that the entire house can be repainted on the inside. Also, your floor tiles, the entire house has floor tiles, so you want to go and make sure none are lifting. If there are some that are lifting, and if by chance you can find that same pattern, you can just go and get those few pieces and replace those that have lifted. Another item is the cleaning of the house, just pretty much your basic household type cleaning, where you want to mop the floors, you want to clean the toilets and the sink, you want to wipe down the windows and any other appliances. So you're going to have cleaning supplies to do that as well. That's another cost. Now let's move to the outside of the house. Mowing the lawn. You're going to have to make sure while there is no tenant in there that the lawn stays mowed. When there is a tenant in the property, we do require that the tenant mow the lawn. Also, we want to check for roof leaks. We want to walk around the entire property to make sure that there are no leaks in the roofs or any lifted shingles. And I did that inspection as well while I was down there this past weekend. Holes in the yard. You want to make sure that, you're not having any holes, large holes being created in the yard. If so, you want to fill those so that you can continue to have grass to grow in those areas. You want to make sure that the mailbox is secured. You want to make sure that it is standing firmly so that when the mailman delivers the mail, that the tenants are able to get their mail and don't have to worry about it getting wet, or the door hanging open, or their mail getting damaged. So you want to do that. Window damage. You want to look around at every window inside and outside of the home to make sure that all your windows are functioning properly. There are no cracks or no windows that have been broken. Door damage. You want to check the doors. I have 3 doors on that property. I have a front door, I have a back door, and then I have a door that leads into the storage area. You want to make sure all those doors are secured on the hinges, and you want to make sure that the knobs and everything on the doors are working properly. Now that the tenant is moving out, speaking of doors, we will be changing the locks. Therefore, that is another cost to change the locks. The last thing is to kind of look around the yard and make sure that there are no trees that may possibly be in the process of rotting, and you may have to get those cut down. You may have to cut back limbs. So you just want to inspect inside and outside of your property to make sure that it is staying in good standing, as well as you're getting it tenant ready for that next tenant. Now, a third cost that you might incur, which I incur, is out-of-state travel. I have to travel out of state to go and inspect my property, and with that, now that out-of-state travel cost can be occurring if you have a tenant in the property, or if you do not have a tenant in the property, because you have to travel to get to your property. And the cost that I do incur there is lodging, food costs, and gasoline for my vehicle. So those are 3 costs that you can incur when you are traveling out of state to visit your rental property. So basically, those are the costs that you may incur overall from having a rental property. And as you heard, these costs and fees and expenses can be very hefty. Therefore, you must set aside a maintenance and travel cost for your rental property. It's almost inevitable. You have to do that because something may break. You may have to run down there unexpectedly and check on your property. So therefore, with this side hustle, this is the side hustle where, for me, I make the least amount of income because I am balancing the amount of money that is brought in from rent and deposits by putting some away into a savings account. I do still try and save some of it, but I also put some away in a maintenance account. So I think that is all I have for this cozy chair conversation for my episode 3. A quick recap of my side hustle and extra incomes are: I am an adjunct professor, I run an apparel business, and I also have a rental property. So that is all I have for now, YouTube. Remember, this is Dr. Mummy, where we dream big but start small around here. And I would also love for you to subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment and let me know what your side hustles are. Let me know if you're into real estate, if you're thinking about getting into the game. I think it's a fabulous side hustle, and one day I want to make it my sole income, where I'm just in retirement and I'm allowing my rental properties to provide the income I need to sustain myself and my lifestyle. Also, I would like for you to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave me a comment. This is Dr. Mummy signing off from my cozy chair. Bye bye, YouTube.